What's good, you guys? Your boy Ben Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Hope you guys have been enjoying the playoffs thus far, and it's been a very, very crazy ride. We're almost at the halfway point of the playoffs, and we're inching closer to the NBA Finals. So buckle up and get ready. It's gonna be one. It's gonna be a hell of a ride to get there. But I'm here to just try to put some defense for Mr. Anthony Davis. Boy, that's an interesting line. Pretty much as simple as this. I've been, going around these YouTube basketball streets and just been hearing various people clowning Anthony Davis in the aftermath of when he suffered the concussion after he took the elbow from Kevon Looney in game 5. And I'm just here to tell you guys that it was kind of funny when people were just making fun of him because of his injury history, but now it's getting to the point it's becoming much more ridiculous. And I'm here to tell people to just stop clowning this man and stop making fun of him now. Because I'm just getting tired of people just making fun of the dude because the fact is he can't help that the man that he's been injured riddled throughout his whole career. But in this series alone, he has been absolutely one of the best players in this series. Not just because of his offensive prowess, but what he's been able to do defensively. He's been absolutely the best defender in the NBA playoffs thus far, especially against the Golden State Warriors. He's been playing absolutely phenomenal defense. And the thing that I'm just getting tired of people making fun of him is that what happened in game 5 when he got hit in the elbow and suffered that concussion that he had to be rolled off in a wheelchair. I'm here to tell you something. Maybe the wheelchair may be excessive for some people, but a concussion is nothing to play with because it's basically a brain injury. If we're really being honest here, I mean, a concussion can be mild, it can be moderate, and it can be severe to the point where you can't even walk straight. So, I don't blame the Lakers, training staff for taking the precautionary measure to make sure that Anthony Davis at least can get to the locker room and get some, medical attention and get some observation done to make sure that he's going to be medically cleared to play. And I think that he's going to be possibility he's going to play in game 6. He's not going to be going to sit out the rest of the series. I'll be surprised if they do that, but that's not going to be the case. But I will tell you this season alone, I think that Anthony Davis deserves much more credit for battling back against the injured label perception. Because what we've seen throughout the majority of his career, that injuries has pretty much sidelined him throughout the majority of his time. But it hasn't taken away what he's been able to do, you know, winning championships, multiple all-star appearances, MVP conversations, all team selections. This man has been pretty much done everything that he said to do throughout his entire career. And I will give him credit. The man has been trying to battle back against that uh, injury prone label, aka making sure to get back up and continue on playing, despite the fact that he's been pretty much battling injuries. The thing is his body is not made to play basketball that long. But at least I give him credit for him trying. Unlike Kawhi Leonard, who pretty much whenever he has the feeling that he's going to get hurt, he's going to sit out and miss 10 games in a row. Like I used to be one of Kawhi Leonard's biggest defenders, especially how everything unfolded in San Antonio. Because I felt that, if Kawhi feels that he's not ready to play because of his injuries, then why are they forcing him to play? But now, after seeing what has transpired this year alone, maybe it had something to do with his sister getting sentenced to prison. Who knows? But anytime that Kawhi Leonard has the feeling of getting hurt, all of a sudden he just sits on his rear end, collects his money, and watches his team, struggle. And that right in there, in of itself, I just have a big problem with. And it's given more people the ammunition now into believing that maybe the stuff that was going on in San Antonio is probably more valid. That Kawhi Leonard may have been faking his injury to pretty much force a trade out of San Antonio. I don't believe that's to be the case in my view, but it's feeding the ammunition to a lot of Kawhi Leonard's critics. But anytime that people have had sustained against Anthony Davis for his injuries, we hear all this uproar and all this groaning and moaning. But when it came to Kawhi Leonard, all I heard was nothing more than excuses and crickets. And to me, in of itself, I just got fed up with it. And I think this year alone, I think that people need to cut the nonsense off of Anthony Davis because he's having one of his best years of his career, and he probably will finish in the top 5 in MVP voting. Just since we know that Joel Embiid is already the MVP, and more importantly to that, he's been pretty much one of the best players in the series against the Golden State Warriors, and is responsible for the advantage they have right now, leading 3-2, and have the possibility of closing out the series tonight. So we'll see what happens in the game. But the point of the matter here is that I'm actually standing up for Anthony Davis because he's really been showing his resiliency this year, and I give him credit for at least fighting back against that injury-prone perception. And I think that as people who watch basketball all the time, who enjoy the sport and wants to see the best athletes in the world compete against one another, I think we need to step back and realize that playing 82 games a year wears you down, and not many players can survive a full 82 game schedule. I mean, sometimes their bodies just fall apart during the season, and they end up getting hurt with aches, with sprains, tendonitis in the knees or in their limbs, all things else in between. And I think that at the end of the day, I just feel that Anthony Davis, had his reputation about that, with the injuries and things of that sort. But I think that we need to take that off of his label now and put it where it's supposed to belong, in Kawhi Leonard. Because unlike Kawhi, Anthony Davis has been trying to play through some of those injuries that he's had and putting in work. And to that, I give him his respect. But I just felt there was need to to stand up for Anthony Davis, because I got tired of a lot of people clowning this man because of when he went off in a wheelchair, or, oh man, this guy is soft, that's like paper mache and this and that. A lot of you guys have never played basketball, and a lot of you guys have never succeeded in the highest level of your favorite sport. So until you're in their shoes and feel what they feel all the time during a long season, all the way from November and possibly through April, and if you get to the playoffs through May, and then when you get to the finals in June, I don't want to hear any of that nonsense. Not anything. Why? Because you never played in like that kind of level of sport, and you never played long minutes per night. So I don't want to hear this anymore. Salute to Anthony Davis. He's been pretty much playing excellent basketball throughout the series against the Golden State Warriors. And, he has my respect now by the way that he's been playing and the way he's been showing his resiliency and courage this year alone for battling back against that, injury label reputation. So that's just my 2 cents, and salute to him. Much love to him, and good luck the rest of the way. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. And with that, I'm out. Peace.